How many times have you said yes when you really wanted to say no? I'm sure there are currently many things that you would like to say no to. Maybe a project, a client, an offer, a promotion, a proposal. Something that if you say no, fear arises and you feel that you're losing an opportunity, a sure thing. Then maybe they won't consider you for something similar, or maybe they won't call you again. Or the classic, what if there isn't something better out there? Well, yes, there is something better on the other side, but it requires something super important that I would like to tell you about in this video. So stay until the end so that you give yourself the opportunity to say no without any fears and to never go back to doing what doesn't really bring you joy, what really is not what you want. Now, first of all, here we're talking about assertiveness. And lack of assertiveness affects us all. From the most insecure person to those who we believe they are the most secure and determined ones in their goals. And I assure you that this is something that holds you back in the short term as well as in the long term. And in a few seconds, I'm going to explain you exactly how it slows you down. Now, before I explain anything to you, I would like you to reflect with me here for a second, to take this space to do this together. Now, think of something to which today you're saying yes to. You're doing it, but in reality, you would rather spend your time and invest your energy in something else. I would like you to hold on to that image and ask yourself, right now, in the short term, what is it that you're holding yourself back from? What you are not doing today, what you're missing out today by doing the thing which you said yes and you really didn't want to do it. What just came to mind is exactly how the lack of assertiveness is holding you back right now in the short term. Now let's do another exercise, and I would like you to think about how you project yourself in the long term, in the future. Imagine what you would like to be or to have or to do in the future. And for those of you who have clear goals, then visualize that goal and now ask yourself, the thing that you're doing that you would like to say no to, is it helping you build that vision and that desire for the future? Now, if the answer is no, how specifically is it holding you back? What comes to mind is an example of how lack of assertiveness is blocking you or is blocking your long-term desire. So we already know that this is a problem, right? But how do we do it to correct it? How do we turn this around? Now, assertiveness is not just knowing how to say no. It's actually the ability to communicate what is really aligned with you so that your message comes through clearly, you do not hurt anybody else, and you can achieve your goals. And all of this without feeling guilty. Now, to develop assertiveness, you need to have two things clear. One of them is clarity about what you want, and the other one is self-confidence. For the rest, with some non-violent communication techniques, which we will see in other episodes, you can go quite far. So let's focus on the first 2 points. The first point, clarity in what you want. Now, for this, I would like you to return to your case, that thing that you're doing that you prefer not to be doing, and I'm going to ask you to think, if you would be able to say no to that thing, what would you rather be doing? Now, be realistic and with a mature response. How do you see yourself? How do you sound? How do you feel by doing that thing that you really want to do? Now, if you have something clear in mind, then there's nothing more to say. You have clarity. Reinforce it. Listen to yourself and always keep it in mind. If not, then I recommend you to reflect calmly, because the only way to create possibilities and to design a career with purpose and meaning is to be clear about what you want. If you don't, you will continue to fill out your agenda with things that contribute to somebody else's goal. Now, second point, trust yourself or self-confidence. Go back to your vision, both long-term or short-term. I don't mind, either one works. But now ask yourself, how much do you think you can do that thing that you really want to do? Let's say on a scale from 1 to 10, how confident are you in yourself and how certain you are that you can achieve that goal? Here is the most important key to the assertiveness, is confidence. If you have confidence but you don't have clarity, what stops you is that you haven't really thought about it. So do it. Just think about it. But on the contrary, if you have clarity but you don't have confidence, you will remain stuck. I have a friend, let's call her Denise for the sake of this episode, who has been in her position for 10 years. She's really good at what she does. She has a spectacular natural leadership. She has inexhaustible creativity and an exponential development potential. But she also has been telling me for 10 years that she wants to leave that company and that position. Every year she thinks about putting her resignation or look for something else. She applies to jobs or she lands some independent projects. She doesn't really get along with her boss. She's not inspired by the new projects she's getting. She makes many mistakes and she misses important things. She takes days off as often as she can. She gets sick very often, and on her vacation she travels really far away and disconnects from the world as if she wanted to escape. She has thousands of super feasible projects and business ideas that you could put in practice right now, but she always decides to stay where she is, to start another day by saying, this year I will leave, or this year no more. And she's still there, tied to the safe thing, because any reason to stay is apparently more important and has more weight, like my son, the mortgage, expenses. And it's not that it's not reasonable or that her reasons are not understood, but if anything, Denise reminds me of is a person who's more afraid than it is confident. Who does Denise remind you of? And Denise, if you're listening to this episode, you know that you're capable of more and you can go for bigger projects. You who are listening to me, allow yourself to be free and to take control of your professional life. My name is Rojas Liscano. If you don't know me, continue to follow this channel, these episodes, so that you continue learning to say no to what you really don't want and to say yes to what really truly inspires you. I'll see you in another episode.